Hello guys, it's April. Oh, so baseball season is started and all this fun stuff you can do outside because the lovely weather, the flowers are blooming and birds are chirping. So I love this spring weather. Okay, so today we're gonna work on skyscrapers in perspective way. So perspective is what gives a three-dimensional feelings to flat images such as drawings or paintings. So just like this, it's a flat two-dimensional work, but still you can see the spaces it gives the illusion of space. So distance maybe, and then also you can do overlapping, just like in my example. You can overlap to create distance and space. In art, there's a big term for space. There's a couple different ways to create space in your two-dimensional or three-dimensional, two-dimensional work. You can use overlapping, using perspective, and so many different ways, but today we're going to focus on using perspective and overlapping. So let's go. I will show you how to create your skyscrapers in three-dimensional. Okay, now, so somewhere on the bottom you're going to start. I'm going to put in the middle. You can use your ruler, put diamond shape, and then your straight lines. You're going to add three corners. 1, 2, 3 corners with straight lines. Now I'm going to add a couple more buildings in the front. I'm going to put slightly bigger building. Sorry guys, it's not straight, so I'm going to fix my line. When you adding your line, it has to be your diamond's lines are parallel lines. And then I'm going to add a straight line. I'm going to add one more half building. This one is slightly taller. Here we go. Now, behind this building, you can still add buildings. So this time I'm going to add a little taller building and skinnier. And maybe another one. Here we go. And maybe one small one. I think I have enough. Sure, why not? Here we go. I have about 6 buildings. You can have 5 buildings at least. Try to create 5 buildings, okay? I have 6 buildings. Now we're gonna add details, okay? So on the building, you will see a lot of skyscrapers. It has a lot of windows. So you can create windows. So first, the biggest thing is when you're adding lines, it has to be matching with your top roof line. So I'm gonna put, if you want to work on this side, you have to do parallel lines like that. You have to match with the angles on the top. Here we go. And once again, I'm matching with this line, your angles. And if you want to work on your right side, you have to match with your right side angle too. So once again, I'm matching, line up with your parallel lines. Does it have to be perfect? No, you try your best, okay? Here we go. Now I'm done with, I'm gonna add a one middle line. Do you see my window? And I'm gonna work on this one. There's many different types of windows, so you can create your own window. Some are big, some are wide. I'm gonna put a wide window here. And then on here, I'm gonna put small ones. Once again, do you see this one? I'm matching with the top roof lines, right angles. I'm gonna put skinny, small windows on here. Make sure you line up with your angles with this one. Okay, the vertical lines always has to be straight. I'm making small tiny windows. Here we go. Now, so you know how to work on your windows, right? So spend some time to create different unique windows. So for me, I'm gonna put, since I have a circle tracing lines here, I'm gonna put circle windows. Here we go. And I'm gonna put now I'm gonna put a couple more windows here, simple. Line up with your angle first. Your horizontal line always has to match with your rooftop line, roof line. Once again. Here we go. Now I'm gonna trace with a Sharpie. Trace every line. Okay, you're gonna trace all the lines. It takes a little while. Do you see this one? If the window is not lined up with your rooftop line, rooftop angles, it looks a little weird, right? Just I'm showing you when you don't use your angle correctly, you can have a little problem. Now, you're gonna color your buildings with your markers. If you don't have a marker, you can use a watercolor, you can use, as usual, you can use crayons, doesn't matter, okay? And whichever you have, you can use it. Now, I think you guys can color this one, no problem, right? I'm gonna just show you how to create your sky. So, I want you to use moon. But if you want to have a different background, you want to have a sunset or a sunrise, doesn't matter, you can have any kind of background. So I'm gonna just do, because my light is on, so I'm gonna just put moon here and color. When you are done, you're gonna use your blue. You can have just kind of a little cloud moving, nighttime. If you look closely, you can see you can see the nice sky. I'm gonna add a couple lines. Okay, on the bottom, I'm gonna just color. Okay, if you have markers like this, you can use this one too, the skinny ones, the washable ones. If you have a 20 color sets, that's great. If you don't have a 20 color markers, you can use regular markers. Since I have this one, I'm gonna use a couple spots with this one. And then just adding different shade. Okay, I'm ready to paint. Here you go, grab your paintbrush and dip it in the water cup. You don't need a lot of water just to get wet. Now you're gonna just paint this one. If you need to, you can go grab water. So if you apply water in here, the marker will bleed. So it works like a watercolor. The regular Crayola marker will work really great too. I'm using just a regular Crayola marker. And then if you have a washable marker, that's okay too. I used this one with a washable washable marker. But your regular Crayola marker works great. So when you are done, your sky looks really cool.